Are we
49ers done
are
for
we
it.
ready? Are you
We're ready.
ready to have like a real episode?
I am. Let's do it.
This is not bye week. We're in week 12 now. The San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams for the second time this year. The first time these two teams faced off, I believe the 49ers won 24-16. That's off the top of my head. And that's what the final score was. The 49ers won 24-16. They're looking to extend their 3-game winning streak against the Rams right now, actually. They swept them last year. This game, I've really gone. This is one of the first games in a long time I've really gone back and forth. I think the Rams are really good. I think the Rams are better than what they were in week 5, 6, whatever it was when they played each other last. But I there's still parts that Saleh definitely has McVay's number. Shanahan has McVay's number, and it's really up in the air for me. I'm curious to see what you think, though, because you've been texting me about, man, I've been watching the Rams. I'm ready. So I want to let you cook for a minute, see what you think on the Rams and what you see from them, because you've watched way more tape on them than I have this week. What you expect from them and how you think they can adjust to the 49ers, seeing they've lost 3 in a row to them.
Right. So I have some quick stats too, like really quick. So the 49ers currently right now as it stands have a 0.0 chance of getting the top pick. Okay. But they have a 4% chance at a top 5 pick. Just throwing that out there. Okay.
Just number, just stats.
Just stats, yes, just numbers. And as far as total playoff chances, it actually went up 0.2% to 4.6% for the 49ers to bag a playoff spot. So just want you to keep that in mind when you're thinking about this game. But yes, with the Rams, a lot of credit goes to what the 49ers did on offense and did on defense. They played a hell of a game, mixed up their coverages very well. That's really what I noticed when I watched this last replay again. I watched it earlier today, so it's like really fresh in my mind. They start the game at zone, they start the game at man, then they're flipping into zone and things like that. Here's the thing that I think I walked away from, that I already thought about this game that I feel a little bit more nervous about now. The Rams really played bad in this game. Yeah. Badly, right? As much as the 49ers played well, not gonna take that away. The Rams played bad. There was plenty on the tape that was missed. Goff missed a deep crosser to Kupp on the first drive, which would have extended the drive. And then they, we all know the Kupp drop touchdown. We know 9 out of 10 times that's never going to happen again, right? So that all happened, and then the Verrett touchdown. There was times where Kupp was just a step off. The throw was bad. Goff was off. So I don't expect that Jared Goff is going to be this bad. I'm going to tell you why. We didn't get any pressure on him last game. None. If he did something bad, it was because he was either feeling something too early or just made an erratic throw. Yeah. So the 49ers are not going to be coming as hard as last game, right? They're not going to have the pass rush to do this again, right? So this is what gets me worried now about this game, right? And it's a little bit different right now at this point. Now, we know that we got some reinforcements coming back in this game, right? We found out today, Richard Sherman, so that's on the defensive side. Richard Sherman, we're getting back. K1's not coming back this week. Dre Greenlaw is questionable. I would think he's going to play because it's an illness, non-COVID. Who else? Is there anybody else on defense? In
terms of defense, I don't think anybody else on defense is back. Offense got a big boost today.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll get over to that. But, yeah, on the defensive side, so Richard Sherman being there, right, this kind of is a weird time, right? Like, Sherm has to play, right? But I think that what the 49ers did so well the first time against the Rams, they won't be allowed to do this time with Richard Sherman because they're going to have to play so much cover 3. You don't want to leave him in man with either Woods or Kupp or even Josh Reynolds. That's just not his strength. That's not playing to his strength. That's not a knock against Richard Sherman. That's just not what you would do. He has to be in the cover 3 zone. The problem is that when you run cover 3 zone, you have to run zone blitzes. You can't get as exotic when you're running man across the board, with Jamar Taylor off the nickel corner and all those things. So it's going to be another challenge for Robert Saleh again to find a way to, hold down his defense, because if they think that they're going to rush 4, maybe bring another person, they're probably going to get picked apart. And that's what I get afraid of in this game. And that's kind of what I noticed, at least in that game. And the way that they're playing right now, they're ascending. And you're absolutely right about that, Andrew. It's like they're moving up. Like, this isn't the same team that we played. They're not at the same point, and that's what's scary.
And Melissa makes a good point. Kinlaw came off the COVID list as well, so they never lost him because he was on the COVID list at the bye, but he is back as well. And you mentioned the start of the game, kind of the mistakes the Rams made, and we said this, post game for that game. The final score was 24-16, but it was one of those games where the score lied a little bit. Yeah. The Niners really dominated that game, and I just don't see that happening again because the Niners. That was a healthy 49ers team, quote unquote healthy. I don't think Mostert played that game, but it was Garoppolo, was Kittle.
He did.
Did Mostert play that game?
Yes. Remember, he was crushing in the beginning, and then remember that's where he got hurt again.
Is that where he got?
Yeah.
Okay. So they had him for a half. 17 carries, 65 yards for Mostert. But it's going to be different because instead of Garoppolo and Kittle, it's Mullins and Reed, which nothing against Mullins and Reed, that they're just not who they are, or they're not as good as who Kittle and Garoppolo is. So the offense is definitely going to have a challenge. And I guess I'll talk about the offense. We did this kind of nice. You talked about the defense. I'll talk about the offense. Ayuk seems to be out. I feel like I missed something exactly what it was. But Ayuk seems like he's not
COVID.
Play.
Yeah. So it's more the way that Shanny was talking about it in the press conference. It wasn't anything that he said that was definitive. He just made it sound like he was less optimistic than Trent Williams, who it's a possibility that they both miss. I am working under the assumption they're both not playing this week.
Yeah, and from what I read too, it seems like he seemed more optimistic about Trent playing than Ayuk playing.
For sure.
So we'll pencil in Trent Williams. We'll assume Ayuk's out. But don't take us at our word for Trent. But the big ones are Mostert, Wilson coming back, and then Debo's back. And I wish Ayuk could play so we could see what they look like together.
Right.
Haven't really gotten that yet, but having Debo back is really good. It's going to help the offense. I really want to test the theory of how important Mostert is to this offense because I've been saying he is the system. Kittle's the best player, but Mostert's the system. So I'm interested to see what the Niners and Shanahan does. Jordan Reed is not out. He should be playing. I don't think he has an injury. I haven't read anything on him.
I mean, he has an illness too. So it's not it's not like set in stone. But I would suspect he's playing.
Well, that's the scary thing about the COVID is now we're getting into flu season, so it's a lot of sickness going around, and I'm sure we'll talk about the situation with the Ravens too. But the offense should be quote unquote back to full strength. Obviously, no Kittle, no Garoppolo, but yeah, I'm excited to see Shanahan do stuff with this offense. And what did you see with the Rams defense? Do you think the Niners can put together a game plan like they did against Aaron Donald, those quick runs, those quick passes? Do you think they'll be as effective this time against Donald? And also Jalen Ramsey too. He's playing a lot better than what he was earlier in the season. He's going to be another issue for that Rams defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, like, honestly, I'm nervous on offense too, and I'm going to tell you why. The 49ers are going to try the short pass thing. They're definitely going to try that again because I don't think they want to test this secondary overall. And it's not just Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is the anchor, but this secondary has been playing incredible. I think I have some of their fancy DVOA metrics up that I can try to explain, but
can you explain what DVOA is?
DVOA is I can kind of explain it to you guys, but but it is a good way to evaluate teams. So they're 7th currently with a negative 4.9%. So what that really means, honestly, is when it's defense, you always want to have negative. When it's offense, you always want to be in positive. So if you're in positive on the defense, it's because you're performing really badly. And that's how they are. They're top 10 against the pass. Again, the 49ers are going to try their damnedest to keep the ball, keep Aaron Donald away. My fear is the Rams know exactly what that looks like now with a less of a quarterback, right, at this point. And you're not really as nervous, for him to test you down the field. So the 49ers are going to have to do a little bit more than that. If the 49ers can't run the ball in this game, it doesn't matter. Doesn't
Mhm.
matter, because as we alluded to on the show with Grant, if Nick Mullins has to drop back 45 times, 40 times, he's gonna die. Especially if we believe that, if we believe that Trent Williams doesn't play. Like, let's just say it's school and it's McKivitz. It's gonna get hairy. It's gonna get really hairy if they have to throw the ball a lot. So obviously run the ball. Do not turn the ball over, please. Do not turn the ball over. But we were told the Rams only had 3 good plays. Is this the meme? Is this it?
Yes, that's the meme. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, man, the Rams defense, it's a good defense. Like, that's the thing, but
they're coached up. Their defensive coordinator is going to be in the looking for a head coaching job somewhere. He will.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, listen, their defense is headlined by those 3 big names: Donald, Brockers, and Ramsey. But there's a lot there too. I mean, their defense is good. Their defense is good. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough matchup for the 49ers. And I'm so in between on this just because I know what the 49ers can be, especially with Mostert back. And it's going to be very important with Mostert back and Jeff Wilson back as well.